Good morning. Today I am with Mariana Duran. She is a 15 years old girl who is in her last school grade. And today she is here because I know that about you and I want to know her a little more. To know what she like to do, how she manage his time, among other things. Well, Mariana, welcome. Make yourself at home.
Thanks.
Well, let's start with a basic question, and from there we ask the rest. What do you think?
Okay, it's perfect.
Well, we know that you are 15 years old girl who is about to finish school. What are your plans, projects, goals, or rather, what do you have for 2021 apart for you graduating, of course?
Okay, and well, it's not a secret to anyone that 2020 was a challenge for everyone. Personally, it was a year with many mistakes and errors. But for this 2021, I want all that to change, and I have decided to improve myself, grow in all the areas of my life, learning new things. What's more, I have been studying English. As you know, I studied 5 years in the UA, but a language is never finished learning. And besides, I am also learning Italian and programming.
Oh, Italian. That language sounds very nice, romantic. I wouldn't know very well how to explain it. But tell me, how long ago did you start studying Italian? What do you think? What is the easiest and the most difficult thing about this language? Rather, tell me everything.
Okay, and where do I start? One day I was watching videos on YouTube when a video appeared that says something like learn Italian class 1, something like that. And well, I was bored watching nothing to do. I watched the video and I must admit that I love it, especially the way that the YouTuber explained. Italian had never caught my attention, but the way the YouTuber explained and gave the class made me love that language. In the little that I have studied Italian, it seemed easy for me because it is very similar to Spanish. So far, I have not encountered something difficult, and I hope not. I also feel that having studied English makes this two language much more easy for me.
Wow, it's very good and being honest listening to your brief explanation made it all catch on. Wow, it's very good and being honest listening to your to your brief explanation made it also catch my attention that language. Well, when you answered the first question, I also heard something about programming. Tell me what is it or what is it about because I know that many of us who are listening to you have no idea. In my case, it is the first time I have heard about it.
Well, and programming basically consists of giving instruction to a computer or an electronic device. I will give you an example. And for Excel to work, there are a lot of instruction behind it. So that, other example, in the Subway Surf game, the character runs, jumps, rolls, move from one side to another. There are instructions behind. Those instructions are given by people called programmers through programming, towards the redundancy. It's more, Google, Facebook, Instagram were created by programmers.
Oh, it's cool. And tell me, how did you become interested? Why did you decide to start studying programming?
And well, when I was little, I couldn't tell you the exact age, but at about 5 years old, I want to be a hacker. I dreamed of being that, but I believe the hacker were very intelligent people with too high an IQ. And clearly, I am not like that. People usually tell me that I am very intelligent, but I don't consider me myself that way. But hey, returning to the topic, I go away from all that dream of being a hacker. I forgot about that. But until at the beginning, this year, my stepfather brother recommended me that I study programming, since that is the future, they pay well, and all that. And I did some research. Among the many readings that I did on the subject, I found out that it won't study programming, one can be a hacker. And it's funny, but when I saw that, it's as if that dream as a kid wake up again inside me, and I decided to start watching videos on the subject, and I really start to like it, to the point that now I'm doing free course on YouTube.
Wow, baja. Wow, you are studying too many things, and I admit that. But I have a question. A question. How do you mark the time catch up with you? According to what I understand, you are in 11th grade. You have Siena classes. You are preparing for the IFES test, and apart you studying two languages and programming. How do you do? I mean, how do you have time? Can you be well academically and at the same time learn what you like without feeling in the attempt?
Okay, I consider that the secret to everything is organization, productivity, and perseverance. A few weeks ago, I saw impossible to do everything I want without neglecting my duties, but then changed when I start to think and realize that my life shouldn't be based or shouldn't revolve around the duties that I already have established as a human being. But even though these duties are important, it is much more important to dedicate time to what makes me happy, what I like. And for this, I made a children that was like this. I study English on Monday, Sena on Tuesday, programming of Wednesday, Italian on Thursday, Sena on Saturdays, and Sundays I rest. And in this way, I dedicate time to what I like without neglecting my duties. So I think that all in this life must be a balance.
Okay, perfect. But there is one thing I would like to ask you to finish with this interview, and that is that you studied English for 5 years. What do you think? Tell us about your experience.
Okay, I studied English when I was 10 years old and I finished it when I was 15 years old. The truth is that the experience is very good. You learn so much, and now it all depends on the dedication of the person. It's not the same a person who only practices English the day of the class has to one who practices it daily. Being honest, during the first 4 years, I was the first person, the one who only studied, in my case, on Saturdays. I learned because obviously you learn, but if I could go back in time, I would study every day. An advice that I give you, apart from study every day, is that if you are around 15 years old and are going to do an English course, choose to do it with the adults. In my last semester, I did it with adults, and the truth is that it was the best semester of my life. It is much better. The classes feel much more professional. There are not as many distractions as there are with young people. Those who are there is because they want to learn more, not because their parents force them, etc. For me, my opinion, it is better to study with adults than with young people.
Well, that was it for today. Thank you very much, Mariana, for accepting our invitation.
Thanks for inviting me.
It was a pleasure having you here. You here. I hope we can have another conversation like this soon. I hope you are well.
Thank you. Bye. It was a pleasure to be here.
Goodbye.